Hello, hello. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Angie, episode number 15, where we talk about eco-friendly ideas fighting against the shit stem of the bully dozer. Hey, how you doing? So, just out and about today, hiking or not hiking, just in the river trail here, walking around, getting some exercise really. In the in the winter, I do my workout. I'll leave a link in the description box to level 1, and it'll have a link to level 2, level 3. It's a 3-level thing, body weight training. Um, that's like for winter. In the summer, I get my exercise by just walking around. I'm kind of like an animal that can't be inside when they know there's good weather. So I spend a lot of my summers walking around, and I also kick leaves, I call it, but so the reason why I'm explaining this to you is because this episode is episode 1 of another program. So again, I'm doing different programs, just programs on the things that I have like an infinite amount of things to talk about, like the Hungry Leprechaun, because I've got a lot to talk about food. That's about cooking and food. And I've got a lot to talk about on that one. And the library, and all, and because I want, when I want to talk about theology or Bible, what the Bible scholars are talking about, or whatever it might be in that area, you know. But one of my other areas is fitness. So this is episode 1 of of diet and fitness Dabo. Episode 1 of diet and fitness Dabo. So Dabo is how you say bread in Amharic, the language they speak in Ethiopia, the language that the Emperor Haile Selassie Rastafari would have used. It's Dabo. So they have that injera, that bread that looks like that big bubbly pancake, and they put the food on top of it if you've ever eaten at an Ethiopian restaurant. But they also have Dabo, and that would be the equivalent of our word bread. And but really, it's eaten more like with coffee and with like their coffee ceremony. Have you ever eaten bread? I do it all the time. Bread and coffee is one of my favorite things. So you already know that I love coffee Coffee Chat with Angie. So coffee, because I don't drink alcohol. Coffee's my thing. I like coffee, and in the summer, walking or hiking. So that's why I'm out and about, because it's summer, and you caught me. I'm out walking around and kicking leaves. So, ever since I lived in Spain, but ever since I've lived here, therefore, because I was after Spain, when I go on walks, I like to go into cemeteries. I take respect in cemeteries. Is a big deal. I don't walk right on where the corpse would be buried. I walk around everything and try to be respectful. But anyway, they can be really good places to walk around. You can see it's a pretty nice day walking around here. That probably made you really, really dizzy. I've never tried to do that before. But anyway, so my story. So my story with that. Ow! Ah! Oh, I just got stung by a bee. See that red dot right there? Ow! Ow! So I'm sitting down so that so that it's elevated so the blood doesn't rush into it. Maybe some scar tissue will grow over the wound because I'm too far from the river to put it in cool water. So I'm just going to kind of take it easy for a second and not elevate my heartbeat or anything, and not, be standing up and rushing any more blood in it than I need to. But anyway, so, gosh dang. It wasn't a normal bee, it was a huge one too. Gosh dang. Ow. Anyway, so, my story starts, with my sister. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. The 1, 2, 3, the third one down, died of cancer when she was 19, and that was like 24 years ago, a long time ago. So she died really young. But I used to babysit her all the time when she was a baby, and I really loved her a lot. And anyway, she had a blood disease, and so she died when she was 19, but probably around the age 11, 12, we realized she had a blood disease, and my mom got really into, my mom was already into health food with like Jane Fonda and things like that, the workout, the aerobics and non-fat milk, skim milk and things like that, wheat bread, switching to wheat bread, and America was kind of going through a thing like that, my mom was huge into that. And then, right about then, Misha got this disease, and then at that same time, my mom put her on steroids, and she gained a bunch of weight. And so then she realized that if she puts her on Chinese herbs, which she did, and that it would do the same thing but without that side effect, and she did that. And at the same time I was working. I used to mow lawns and trim lawns and do yard work around the neighborhood for money, and I went on the Chinese herbs myself and loved it, and just got in it and started working out. I was having problems with being bullied in school, and so it was new diet, it was fitness and nutrition, because I also had a problem with bullies, and so like I think someone gave me that tip or something like that. Ow, ow, ow. I shouldn't have been bending my knee like that. But anyway, that if you can run, because I lived a mile from elementary school, so if I could run home every day without a problem, then most bullies wouldn't chase you for a mile, and it was true. Just run home, they'll give up, and and won't follow you that far, which wasn't always true, but mostly it was true. By the way, but anyway. So I started watching Rocky movies and drinking raw eggs in the morning and trying my mom's aerobics. I just didn't have the coordination, so I would just go on hikes and walks, and I don't know if I started jogging. I started lifting weights first. I found weights really soon. I got them for Christmas, actually. My dad was a football player, and as soon as he could see I had interest in Rocky, he's like, "I'll buy you weights," and bought me some weights. And but anyway, so that was, so I'm talking about when I was like 12 years old. So that's really what started it, and it's just the same, So this is about diet. So these are about diet ideas. My thing is, like, if you go to the grocery store with me, I know a lot about ingredients and which ones are healthier and which products to pick that are healthier and things like that. So like that's why this isn't just part of the Hungry Leprechaun, which is about cooking. I'll just make reference to recipes that I might do on this show. This is about the nutrition, the science of nutrition, and the history of nutrition, because I've been doing it for a long time. The history of nutrition, because I've done a lot of reading and been following. My resume is pretty good, actually. I don't have a college degree in that. I have a college degree in arts and sciences and associates, which is nothing, but yeah, so I just have a lot to say and a lot of really good ideas of what you can do just from things that you buy in the grocery store for the most part, and things like that, and a lot of recipes and things like that, but also just diets and fitness. So my thing with fitness, that's why I told you about the bully thing, because my style with the fitness part is kind of like you're training for boxing. That's what I used to do when I was a single parent. When I'd put my son to sleep, at first I would crack open a beer and start drinking beer. But after a while I replaced beer with just make-believing that I was training to be a boxer. And I turned my whole living room into a boxing gym. I had a bench press and a heavy bag, and I had a jump rope, and I'd go out on the sidewalk and do some things like that, and dumbbells and barbells, and just had my own gym for training for boxing. And so I still am like that, you know. Now I hadn't heard of transgender people even back then. That was a long time ago. Now, as a trans woman, you know, I gotta, you know, there's a lot of people, trust me, there's some of the looks I get, there's a lot of people that really hate us, you know, because they have the stranger having no reason to hate you. It's pretty obvious. You just, this is just part of it. You know, like I need to, you know, like it still appeals to me, the idea of being fit and having some, you know, like I try to keep close with Bruce Lee and kind of at least keep that much with me and blah, 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 you know, but I'm sure I'll talk about who knows what, you know what I mean? Both on the note of nutrition, but just like, you know, you can see what my background is. You know, many things about me I learned originally from my mom, and then I ended up taking it my own direction, you know, and that's certainly true with this. At this point I've done, you know, that was how I started. Now I've read, you know, I've studied hundreds of diets, and I can explain, that's not an exaggeration. I've studied a lot of things. I've been on every diet you've ever heard of practically. I used to be diabetic and I beat diabetes. It's something, you know, that shows that I must be pretty capable of gathering the situation and the needs, and then the nature, and then the science, and putting it all together in the form of a practical diet that's fun enough you can stick to, but yet real, so that there's the right kind of long-term results. I don't do much on, you know, it's kind of like Dr. Columbo is one of my bigger heroes. Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend that was Mr. Olympia and is a doctor in nutrition. He's not with us anymore, but he's one of my favorites. That of all the people I've studied, I really love him quite a bit. I love Schwarzenegger quite a bit, and I'm a fan of both of these men quite a bit. But I have many fans. Bruce Lee, like I mentioned. So anyway, a bike just drove by just then. It's probably the most embarrassing part of the whole thing, but that's all right. He probably wouldn't know what that meant. But anyway, so this one, if I were to make any recommendations, because when on the Witch's Moon, when I talk about witchcraft, I do have some pretty practical good ideas. On the Bible, I've got some pretty good ideas. I try to keep it based on scholarship. I've got good ideas on all my shows, or I wouldn't have a show about it. But this one, for sure, you're going to want to listen to. What I have to say about diet and fitness, you're going to want to listen to, and is my recommendation of myself. You're like, oh, well, then this is the last show I'm going to listen to. I'll listen to all your other ones then. It's like, gosh, dude, why?